All right, you awesome, incredible human beings. This is going to be a really, really fun one tonight. And I'm excited to share it with you, partly because this one touches me in the feels. This is for you if you get stressed out, if you get anxious, if you find in social situations you constantly second guess yourself, if you find yourself not being confident in the decisions that you make, not being confident in your ability, if you always downplay yourself, if you believe that you're not good enough for certain things, if you just think that if you just think low of yourself, you don't think as highly as what you should, and you're not as confident as what you would like to be. If stress and anxiety has you by the balls, this is for you because I've been there and I've lived there, and I don't want you to have to do the same. So for many, many years, I was super, super stressed out and super anxious. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that anxiety was a thing. I didn't know that I had anxiety. I'd go and I'd talk to people and my hands would shake. Like I would shake. I had what I called foot in mouth syndrome, where I would just say weird shit, just stuff that didn't make sense. Stuff where I would say it and then instantly think, oh fuck, like what have I done? Like, what have I said? How the fuck could I say that? There are so many times, and I still cringe about it now. So many times where I just blew things with girls, blew things with friends or potential friends, and just was an absolute. I just felt like a fucking weirdo for what I said, and it really, really smashed my confidence. And this just went on for years and years and years and years and years, and I didn't know that there was anything I could do about it. I mean, when it comes to stress and anxiety, most people say, oh, just toughen up. She'll be right, mate. And so a lot of the time we just try and compress it and shove that shit down and try and act normal, and we find these ways around it. I mean, I used to go excessively loud to try and compensate for how stressed and anxious I was and how uncomfortable I was in certain situations. I'd try and say things. I'd try and, change my sense of humor. Some people go really, really quiet and shut off and don't go outside and don't socialize, and all these sorts of things start happening. And I don't want you to have to do that because that's not going to fix the root of the issue. And I've got a really, really simple system which is going to be able to help you because it helped me and it's helped thousands of other guys too. And so I want you to be able to use this because I think this is just going to be really, really super beneficial. Just quickly as well, I forgot to say at the start, if you're watching this live, please comment live. Let me know that you're watching this live. If you're watching this as a replay, please comment replay. Mitch Hopkinson, welcome on, my man. Good to have you on here. Now, I just saw you wanted to tag someone, brother. Add them into the group first. Make sure that they join and then tag them so that they can actually see this, because if they're not in the group, do it. And by the way, guys, that goes to everyone. If you have any family, if you have any friends, if you have anyone that you know that that you think may potentially benefit from any of this stuff, I make this for you guys. I want you to crush it. I want your family to crush it. I want your friends to crush it. I want every single people who's around you to crush it. So feel free to invite them into the group. Feel free to tag them in this, share this information. I give it out to you for free. Anything that we give you, feel free to share it with them. Like, I want you to pass this information on because I believe that it's information we should all have. And I think it's fucked up that we don't get taught this in schools. We get taught long division, we get taught maths, we get taught all this crazy stuff which has no fucking purpose in our life whatsoever. Yet we don't get taught how to manage our anxiety and stress. Does that not seem a little bit fucking retarded to you? Well, it does to me anyway. So please be like Mitchell, share away, share it to everyone, pass this information on. This is here for you. Any of the free resources we give you, anything at all, just feel free, just pass it on. Okay, so the major things that people do when it comes down to fixing stress and anxiety is, number one, hide away. Just don't come out. Don't go for that promotion. Don't go for that next opportunity. Never take the leap to start that business that you really, really want to start. Never ask that girl out or that bloke out. And we are constantly hiding ourselves. We're constantly trying to diminish ourselves and to not be seen. When I was younger, I used to grow my hair and I used to cover it over my face because it's a common thing that kids do. They shrug their shoulders up, they put their hair over their face, they wear a hood, earphones, and they look down the ground. And that was me. I mean, a lot of you guys, I'm sure, can resonate with that. That's anxiety right there. And we try and diminish ourselves and make ourselves seem smaller because when we're a bright spark, we stand out. And that's like the worst thing ever that someone with anxiety can do. And the thing with anxiety is it starts going on and it starts killing everything. It makes our relationships worse. It makes our ability to progress in our careers worse. It makes our ability to make money worse. It makes our health worse. It makes absolutely everything worse. And it just totally diminishes us. And that's the major way that people do it. People manage anxiety and stress. The next way is drinking, drugs, alcohol, food, eating to accommodate, all that sort of stuff. And then a lot of other people will go on and they will try things like antidepressants. They'll try things like Valium. They'll try things like smoking weed. They'll do all these things to suppress the anxiety, but they never actually look at the root of the issue. What anxiety is, I'm just going to break this down for you guys really, really, hopefully simply. Now, if this gets too scientific or too techy or something like that, let me know, and so I can rephrase some of these words. Now, please remember as well, like I studied at university for like 4 years. I've done fucking a shitload of like tertiary qualifications. I talk about this all day, every day. And there's a lot of jargon that gets used. If there's any jargon in here which doesn't make sense, it's not because you're dumb. It's because I'm just used to like working in this university environment where there's a very, very specific way of talking. So just let me know and I'll just explain it in a different way so that it can make sense. Remember, this is for you. It's not about me jerking off and showing how big my vocabulary is, right? So how anxiety works. Our body has something called the nervous system. The nervous system regulates every single thought, feeling, action, mood that we have. Absolutely everything. You flex your bicep, that's your nervous system. You smile, that's your nervous system. You feel good, you feel bad, that is your nervous system. It regulates everything. And there's a specific part of that nervous system, right, called the autonomic nervous system. Now, the autonomic is something which is it's subconscious, or it's said to be subconscious anyway. Autonomic, right? Auto, it's subconscious. You don't even think about it. It's automatic. It just happens straight away. And within this autonomic nervous system, it has a switch. And it has this switch because it can take you from fight or flight to rest and digest. Does that make sense? You've probably heard of those terms before. And when this autonomic nervous system decides to switch into fight or flight, what it does is it has this massive impact on the body. It changes all of our hormones. It changes all of our brain chemicals. It changes all of the way that we feel, the way that we think, absolutely everything. So for example, if you think of somebody who just gets really scared, they shit themselves, right? You ever heard the term shit scared before? What that's doing is the autonomic nervous system is shifting us to fight or flight. It literally makes you evacuate your bowels, right? It'll make people piss themselves, right? They'll wee, right? It evacuates everything, gets rid of it all. They become hyper vigilant. Their eyes like open right the way up and they look scared, right? When someone's scared, they don't look like, They don't, do they? They open their eyes right up. They look fucking scared like that. And they put their hands up. All this is becoming apparent because of the autonomic nervous system shifting us into fight or flight. On the other hand, the times when people are super relaxed and super chilled out and super happy, that's when it's got it flicked into rest and digest. Now, what happens is sometimes because of our environment, because of the people we're around, certain amounts of stresses and things like that, our nervous system gets shifted more into the fight or flight stage. And when it gets shifted into the fight or flight stage, a lot of the time it gets stuck there and it doesn't flick off, which is really, really fucking shit if you're someone like me who's super prone to anxiety. So I had this for years. I was stuck in anxiety, in fight or flight with anxiety for years and years and years and years. I used to want to hide myself. I wasn't confident at all. I tried drinking, fucking every single drug I could get my hands on to try and deal with the anxiety. I would always try and diminish myself. I tried to like fail at school and stuff like that so that I wasn't, the smart kid or anything like that. I tried to diminish myself in sport. Everything I tried to make myself worse so that I couldn't stand out, all because I was stuck in fight or flight. And it cost me years and years and years of success. And I had to work really, really hard to make up for it. And so whenever we get stuck in this fight or flight stage, it's really, really fucking shitty. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up researching this because I was kind of sick of the way that I was living. It was costing me my health. It was causing me to have lots of IBS. So at times where I couldn't do anything but shit, and other times where all I could do was shit. It messed up all of my gut issues. It ruined my testosterone levels. One thing that a lot of people don't know is that when you get anxiety, it does often ruin your testosterone if it goes on for too long unchecked. Your testosterone levels go down, your sex drive goes down, your sexual performance goes down, your ability to maintain an erection goes down, you start losing muscle, you start gaining fat, you start feeling lethargic, you start feeling tired, exhausted, meh, can't be fucked, I'm over it, and it starts impacting you on all those sorts of ways, and it really, really smashed me there, and it probably has affected some of you guys too. And so what we need to do is we need to look at, well, what's the root cause of this? What's the root of the low testosterone feeling like that? What's the root of the IBS? What's the root of the anxiety? What is the root? It all comes back down to the nervous system. We need to look after this. And this is where I developed something called the hierarchy of health. And this is what we've used to successfully help many, many thousands of people overcome their anxiety. For example, there's a dude that we're working with by the name of Grant. We're currently working with him. He's a fucking awesome dude. Really, really incredible guy. But this dude was like, would just get so nervous he'd vomit, right? So nervous he'd vomit. He would hate going out in social situations. His missus, awesome girl, would want to go out and be social, catch up with some friends and do all that sort of stuff. But he's like, nah, I can't do it. No fucking way. Fuck that. I don't want to go out. Right? Hated going out and hated being social at all. It held him back in his career. It held him back in his relationship. It held him back physically because he was just gaining fat. He was losing muscle. You should see him now. The dude's jacked. All because he started working on the hierarchy of health. And what the hierarchy of health is identifying what are the root causes, the underpinning things. So the biggest reason why I believe that Western medicine and a lot of the doctors that you probably go on to right now don't work is because none of them look at the root. For example, I've been to a heap of shrinks in my time, right? I'm not afraid to admit that. I've been to a heap of shrinks in my time. And not one of them wanted me to look at the root of the issue. They wanted to solve the problems that were there, but they wanted to mask it. They wanted to use drugs. They wanted to use certain therapies and whatnot. But none of them actually looked at the root of the issue. None of them looked at that light switch that was being flicked on, which flicked me from rest and digest into fight or flight. Not one single person. I went to doctors. I went to naturopaths. I went to acupuncture. So I went to people and I spent tens of thousands of dollars on these guys trying to help me out over a course of a couple of years, right? Tens of thousands. In fact, there was one period where I was really sick and in a period of about 6 months where I spent about $15,000, right, on getting help from these guys. And none of them helped out. Why? Because not one of them looked at the root of the issue. Not fucking one. Well, I've coached about 7,000 dudes, a bit over 7,000 dudes to date, right? And do you know how many who have anxiety and depression and low energy and stress come to me and say, oh yeah, man, I've already tried working on my nervous system? Zero. I haven't had one single person in the last how am I? 28. So last 9 years of coaching, right? I haven't had one single person come to me and say that they've worked on their nervous system. Ever, right? Not one single person has worked on the fucking root cause of all of these issues. Does that not seem absolutely fucking insane? And so that's why we need to work on the nervous system. Now, if this all makes sense to you, if this sounds like it's something that you would like to fix, you'd like to work on, I got a free video. All you got to do is just comment nervous system down below and I'll send it across to you. Okay? You can have access to it because it goes on for about 13 minutes, that one. It's about 30 minutes long. So just comment nervous system if you want access to that and I'll send it across to you in depth. But here's the takeaway. You need to make sure that you're using your nervous system. You need to be working with the hierarchy of health if you would like to fix your anxiety and your stress. Because if you can do so, if you can do that, that means you'll be able to say goodbye to low confidence. You'll actually be able to be you. That means that you'll be able to be far more successful because instead of self-sabotaging all the time because you don't want to be seen, you don't want to be that guy that stands out, you don't want to be cocky, you don't want to be arrogant, you don't want to make too much money because people who have lots of money are fucking pricks, you don't want to be jacked and shredded because then everybody will look at you and you don't want to be narcissistic like that. Fuck that, right? You can fuck all those thoughts off and you'll actually be able to you'll be able to look the way that you want to look, you'll be able to feel the way that you want to feel, you'll be able to act the way that you want to act, you'll be able to go up and ask that chick out or that dude, whatever you're into, right? You'll be able to go and do whatever the fuck you want once you get on top of your anxiety and your stress. I guarantee it. Because I've done it, because Grant's done it, because thousands of our guys have done it, and you're more than capable of doing it too. On that note, guys, I'll leave you all to it. If you want access, just comment hierarchy and I'll send it across to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday evening, you wonderful human beings.